Okay, let's have a look at layers and master pages. Now, layers are exactly the same as they are in other Adobe products. You see here we've got only one layer. We haven't named it or anything, so let's call this layer background. I'll call a layer background, and I'm going to add a couple more layers. I'm going to add one called text. Click on it over here, text. Okay, and I'm going to add a couple more just to keep things going. We'll do one called pictures, images, and then I'll call the final one page numbers. At the moment, they're all in the same layer. So if I went over to this layer here, background, everything would vanish. So let's move a few things around. Let's first of all select this, which is the image, and we'll put that into the images layer. Let's take this, which is that whole text block, and put that into text. So now we've got the text in there, the images in there, and this one, there's actually nothing in it. It's I don't know where that one is actually. Let's not worry about that. So let's play around with this a little bit. So at the moment, obviously, the text is behind the actual image. Well, maybe I want to put the text layers above the image. So I'll pull the text layers above the image. And so much is the same as you get with layers normally. Now, one big advantage, of course, is you can also lock a layer. So if I'm working on a text layer, I don't select it by accident, which is very good if you've got lots of overlaying things. Exactly the same as InDesign. But where this comes into its strength, really, is when you start using master pages. So what are master pages? If I go to the page menu, which is pages, logical, you'll see that here we've got all the pages in our document so far, and you see a little letter next to them, A, which is using master page A. So let's create a new master page, new master, and so we get to sort of call it what we want. I'm going to leave it as B. We get to give it a name. Let's call it page numbers. And click on OK. Now what I've got is a new master page that I'm creating, and it's totally blank at the moment. There's nothing actually in it. So let's create something in it, and let's select the page number field. So if I select the text box, and I want to insert a page number. So I've got the text box selected there. Type, insert special character, and I've got all these different types of things I can actually add, and one of them is for, should be somewhere, page number, current page number, there we go. So that's basically means that where this character is, put the page number. So I'm not going to bother setting a style up. Well, yes, let's set a style up for it. So window, stars are there, aren't they? Behind here. We get paragraph stars. So let's create a new style of page numbers. And that page numbers I want to make, I don't know, whatever that one is, Myriad Pro. Let's make it Myriad Pro, and let's set the basic alignment for this to be center. So then I can just alter the position of it a little bit. Let's put it there. So align it along that line. So it's going to be along that line and towards the bottom, put it there so we know where it is. And then if I copy this and stick it over the other side as well, just scroll over, use exactly the same thing, align the center of it there. Then we've got our page numbers on either side. And I could put anything else I want on here as well. I could add, oh, by the way, if you notice, they're actually in the page number field, which is above everything else. So if I now go back to the pages that I've set up, so where's the page menu? Pages. If I go back to this, you'll see that we now have no images there because I haven't actually applied it to the to where I want it to be. So let's select this page and let's apply a master to the page, and I want to apply B master because that's the one I put page numbers on. Okay, and now I've got page numbers there. It's pretty horrible. Should be probably white or something there. So we can go back and we can pick the object style again for object style, paragraph style of page numbers. Come on, open up and change the color of it to something a little bit nicer. So that's a horrible color. Let's make it white. I should have turned it white. Okay, so there we have it, and we can change that anytime we like. We can go back into page numbers and change the character color to whatever color we like, and it will just update automatically. Now you'll notice I put it on that page. I haven't put it on this page, so you can actually choose which page you put a master page onto. So that means you can have as many master page designs as you actually like. You could go through and you could design a dozen different master pages, all for different conditions, like some with a black background, some with a white background, and so on. It's a good way of actually handling standard layout. Let's go back to master pages. One good thing is, of course, if you're designing a portfolio for yourself, you can actually create the background and everything that you need to put your portfolio on as a master page, and then use that as a generic thing that you apply to everything. Really, really handy. It simplifies everything. It means that if you want to update that style, you can go through and you can update it. So let's have a look at what I mean by that. So if I just copy this, and I'll go into the page numbers as well. So let's go back into this one and I paste in place. There we go. I put a nice little text block in, and I could, for example, make that a little bit about myself. I could format it any way I actually wanted to. I can override it locally, as I showed you before. So let's just change the color for that slightly. Let's make it that. I could change the font stuff if I wanted to. I could make my own sort of setup for this, and then that can be applied to every thing that I apply that to. So you can imagine laying out a really nice portfolio thing here, and then going in and move this across to the other side. And let's just make sure that this then is B as well. And it doesn't appear. Why doesn't it appear? Well, it doesn't appear because of the layer that it's actually in. If you go back and you can look at the layers, you can see that the images that the block that I moved around was actually the lower layer, because it interleaves things in the same way as the layers are. So if I go back to this page, and I want to open up the pages. I want to open up the master page again. what you find is that this one here in layers is down here, it's in the background. So if I drag it up and put it in the page number section and then go back to this, it's now appeared. It interleaves it. It allows you to do some quite elaborate stuff. You put some things behind, some things in front, and it will automatically shuffle them into the right place depending on what you actually sort of want to end up happening. And that's basically it. I'll do one quick thing on packaging next, and I think I might leave it there for the basics.